Hi everyone, greetings from National Skills Network, popularly known as NSN. Today I am really privileged to have with us Mr. Christopher Raj, the director of NTTF. He is with us today to share his views on technical education and training. As we are aware, NTTF has been leading technical training for the last 6 decades, and it is no mean achievement for an institution to have so many accolades for so many years consistently. So today, let's meet Mr. Christopher Raj to learn more about his view from the leadership team, how they have been able to manage so many placements and perform so very well every year continuously. So welcome, Mr. Christopher, and I'm happy that you have joined us today for this conversation. So first, I would like to get started by asking you, how come so many placements even during the pandemic?
Thank you, Madhuri. Thank you for having me, and good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be on a chat like this morning. Sunlight outside. Yeah. So to answer your question, yes, our tool making is 100%, and rest of the courses is around 95+% placements. And this happened even before the students completed their final exam. So what happens here really is, and I don't know if you are aware that I'm also a student of NTTF.
We would like to know more about that as well.
Yeah. So what really happens is the industries look for people who are really employable, right? So from my experience also, I have been always looking for people who are employable, not just educated or graduated or with a certificate. So that is a specialty of students who move out of NTTF. So if you see what happens to our students is when they walk into the factory, their place looks familiar. Then they don't feel out of the place because they have seen the machine, they smell the machine, they smell the oil, they have smelled the laboratories, equipment, and everything they have touched. Robots they have seen. So they are no strangers. So that makes them very, very comfortable when they walk in. And they also get the orientation on what is the kind of organization, what are the various types of groups are there in the organization. So they get very well aligned. So that kind of gives them the confidence, which gives them a lot of courage. And then because confidence and courage is that they take on commitment, which is what any employer would love. So that's the reason why our students are, more like hotcakes. Yeah. So that's the reason we've been able to place them in the 100%. And there is more demand. We are not able to give students. Yeah.
So in other words, the students are industry ready, and that's the reason, they are like day one productivity is something perhaps they are achieving. Isn't that so?
That's right. That's right. They are industry ready, yes. That's why I use the bigger word called employable, because it's just not industry ready. They understand how to behave themselves, how to how to the mannerisms and the commitment, and how to take forward a commitment they take, and when to raise an alarm. The entire thing is known to them.
Right.
So yeah, this is what I call it as an employability itself.
Right.
In overall terms, yeah.
Yeah, it goes beyond just giving technical training. So they are getting a hands-on experience in NTTF itself, like an application of the industry environment when you have your practical training and so on. So this is something I'm sure many would like to emulate, and we would be happy if people reach out to NTTF to understand your model and learn from you. That's one of the ideas of having this chat with you, Mr. Christopher. So next, I would definitely like to know your journey. And you said you were a student of NTTF, and now that you're holding a leadership role, it must be a very inspiring thing for many people and to us as well. So can you please tell us about your journey?
Yeah, it's been a fantastic journey, I must tell you, and I must thank NTTF for it. So I finished my education in NTTF in 1986, and those days it used to be a 4-year program. I'm sitting in this desk, and right behind me is the hostel, and that's the hostel I spent my 4 years. So joined as a kid with questions all over your head and all over your mind. And I was doing my science in St. Joseph's College.
Mm-hmm.
in Bangalore, and then the NTTF used to conduct the interviews in St. Joseph's College itself. So
Okay.
it used to happen in the big hall we used to have there. So I went and attended the interview there. It was an entire day interview. So first phase was over and second phase, and then finally I got selected.
Okay.
So honestly, against my own wish, I came and joined because my father pushed me into it.
Okay.
I was crazy about playing football and I wanted to be there. So I joined, but then 4 years, I just really, it was grilling training. It
Mm-hmm.
looked grilling because you are coming from a school and from a college, and then there is no accountability per se.
Right.
And but whereas here you have what is known as a time book, and you have to account for every 5 minutes you spent in the entire 8 hours.
Mm.
So from morning, you wake up at 5:30, and from 6 o'clock your day kind of starts, and then it is also well scheduled and timed. So there's a time book. So you spend your day in the theory class and then the practicals, and then you go back, you just change, and the warden is behind you because you have to go and play games. You
Okay.
can't sit in the room. And then after that, you go and wash up, and then you have dinner. And 8 to 10, come what may, you have to be at your studies table studying. So next day again, 6 o'clock, you wake up, you are in yoga or gymnastics.
Mm-hmm.
Those days we used to have even horse riding.
Oh, okay.
So any one of these things, you're always engaged, and then all our adrenaline used to be, just wasted out in that. So we didn't have time to do anything else other than focus on what we came for. So it went on like that. Then after I finished my studies in NTTF in 1986, I worked in NTTF Electronic Center.
Okay.
So can you imagine? I'm a tool maker, but
Mm-hmm.
I went and worked in Electronic Center because I said, okay, tool making is already buried in me now, so it will never go out. So let me go see what is there, something else other than tool making. So there we were making the special purpose testing machines. Those days, the small, because the electronic industry was in boom that time.
Mm-hmm.
So we were having a small development team, and I was part of the team. So we made some nice equipment. So I worked for 4 years there, and possibly that was the first high-speed printed circuit board drilling machine I could make it,
Mm-hmm.
and from the drawing board to painting it and installing it. So I could do that. So that's the
Great.
confidence the NTTF student gets, from NTTF.
Yeah, that's something great. The switch you made from one, domain to the other.
Yes.
So, is this itself is something I'm sure very inspiring for others who would want to make such, career switch perhaps. So please tell us more. Then what happened? And
Then what happened is I was doing that, and then somebody saw this machine displayed in a exhibition,
okay.
and they came and offered me a job because you made such a nice machine. Why don't you come and join us? That's how I went to the next job. So I worked there, and then finally I moved into a multinational organization. It's a number two company in the world. It's a it's a huge multinational. I think it's about 2 billion that time.
Mm-hmm.
I joined there as a tool maker, tooling engineer on the bench, and I was there for 21 years.
Okay. 20.
So in 21 years, the good thing about the whole thing, Madhuri, is that every second year I had something to move up, move up the ladder. So the recognition was so strong because you could do whatever came in your way.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I want to tell you very proudly is that, see the diversification. We had to shift the plant from Hosur to Whitefield, Hosur Road to Whitefield. And my boss gave me that assignment. I was about 2 years old in the company. He said, we have to shift this factory from here to there into the new premises, and you have 48 hours. So you switch off on Friday evening, Monday morning, everything should work. So trust me, it was done. Monday
Wow.
morning, everything worked, 8 o'clock. So there started my good recognition. Then I moved up the ladder and went through all the areas. Um, I worked on certain acquisitions and moving plants from France and Portugal, from China, and acquisitions in India, global acquisitions. And I also won some award for it, for integrating the organization together.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, I was heading the operations. And during that period, I started one plant in Delhi, one in Pune to support the local customers. And then I was kind of simultaneously working with multiple plants, right? And then I was also looking after the business development, product development, engineering. So the entire circle, I can't believe it is just an NTTF training and you could do so many things, right? So finished that. Then from after 21 years, I moved on. I said, okay, let me go do something else. I got a break as a CEO of a company. So I worked in that company for about 3 years as a CEO. And then again, there was another break. There was a Swiss company which was looking for a leader in India. So I joined them as a managing director. I worked again there for about 3 years. And after that, I said, okay, what next? And when I was around 40 years, I wrote to myself a purpose of life, create employment, make people employable. So that was the purpose I wrote. So when NTTF called me, I was like, wow, there is an opportunity to fulfill my purpose. So make people employable. So that's how I came into NTTF. So I had a beautiful journey, and all with only one thing, NTTF training. I did not do anything else. Of course, I did a management program in the US, which was sponsored by the company. So it was run by Harvard School of Business and Babson College. So I completed management studies here. That was a MBA for non-MBA managers kind of stuff.
Okay.
So that's something I could do. So that's how NTTF training was recognized. This is a real life story of mine.
Yeah, this is simply remarkable, and how brilliantly you have put it all together in such a short time. I think the journey you traveled obviously is because I'm sure the discipline and the kind of commitment that NTTF trained you in, isn't it? It must have played a very important role. And I also see that it must have made you very open-minded to keep switching and taking up things as they come. What do you have to say to this? Isn't this a part of the employability training even today? Because we are talking about 21st century skills, resilience, flexibility, adaptability. I think you are showing all those, things when you're talking about it. We could see that you have adapted yourself, you have grown and things like that. So isn't this something I'm sure NTTF is still doing? To the
Absolutely. Even now, if you look at it, the confidence that you put in into the students, right, and the kind of inputs that go creates that flavor in them that I am employable and I can be an entrepreneur. The only thing that I didn't do as completely is as an independent entrepreneur. But
Okay.
if you look at it, I just set up companies though, but under somebody's money, not my own money. Other than that, you could do everything. And today I'm saying that our students go through the entire thing. For example, we have included things like starting from 5S and TPM, TQM, and lean manufacturing, which is all the new things that is looked forward to in the industry. And then we also have this health and safety environment, the operations management, right, and supply chain management, building relationship. All these things are the part of our curriculum,
Yeah.
which is not necessarily you learn anywhere else, right? You learn only by experience in the industries. If you had a good boss and a good mentor, you are saved. If
Yeah.
not, you're lost. So the idea in NTTF is that you give them all these inputs so that when they see something that is coming their way, they are able to latch onto it. And that's exactly what happened to me. So I could connect everything. I can still remember some of the situations I was put through for sake of discipline or for sake of not having completed my commitment in NTTF as a student. So that thing always rings you back,
Right.
and that's why you keep taking things forward in your workplace. So even today, it is completely relevant in NTTF, and we have a very very committed staff. It's unbelievable. Recently, we were doing all the shifting of machines and layout changes in the Bangalore center. Our every single staff was participating in an entire exercise, right from sweeping the floor to cleaning the machines to everything. And that's the kind of commitment NTTF and the faculty of NTTF have got. So there is dignity of labor. So when you don't have that, then you are ready to work on anything. You
Yeah.
lead by an example. You take on the servant leadership. So this is what is being done.
Yeah. Yeah, so there is a belief that, with this dignity of labor, like you just gave us an example, that, people who are working hands-on on machines are respected equally and they try to do all the kind of work. And also at this point, I would like you to tell us a bit about the skills that are, particularly needed in today's time, and how is NTTF coping with perhaps adapting to the skills which are needed in today's time, let's say post pandemic, or however you want to put it.
Okay. If you look at the new skill sets per se,
Mm-hmm.
fundamentally the basic thing does not change, right? The basic fundamental does not change, but then there is a lot of add-ons. If you take our tool making,
Right.
right? The course was diploma in tool and die making. So now we have redone our syllabus and curriculum, and now it is called diploma in tool engineering
Okay.
and digital manufacturing. The reason is the original flavor is required, the basic is required, that is the tooling, and then but then that's not enough. It has to move to digital manufacturing. So, what's digital manufacturing? You want to, from your idea, digitally, it is communicated, and then the product is coming out.
Right.
No talking. So that is what is the flavor we are trying bringing into our curriculum. So likewise, if you look at in the electronics, we have included embedded systems as the major part of it. And then if you look at our CP15, which is mechatronics,
Mm-hmm.
smart factory, from the time something comes into the warehouse and it leaves and reaches the customer, it should remain connected.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the concepts that is needed for the future. So we are bringing that into every course that we have, the diploma courses. These concepts are bringing in, and it's being built in, tied in with our fundamental basic course,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that is how we are taking forward. Other than that, I want to tell you the future, what is coming up. We are looking at launching some of the courses. We have launched few of them. Uh, for example, we have advanced course in additive manufacturing for people other than our own students,
Okay.
because our students anyway go through this, and advanced course in cyber security, data analysis. And if you look at the future job focus, the job titles are going to be different: additive manufacturing engineering, cyber security engineer, and digital manufacturing engineer,
Mm.
predictive maintenance engineer, smart mechatronics engineer. These are the kind of new things that's emerging. So we are constantly working to see how we can, look at the syllabus and rework the syllabus so we can get these things. And for this we do have industry feedback,
Okay.
and also we have our alumni from
Mm-hmm.
whom we take the feedback and keep redoing the course, including our postgraduate courses.
Yeah.
And the other thing, exciting thing that we are working on is that I know that many students many students or many parents, or generally in society, you may want to finish a course and get onto a job, and then maybe after earning some money, come back and do continue the study. So we are looking at multi-entry and exit proposal. We are
Okay.
working on that. So, for example, tool engineering, if you finish 1 year,
Yeah.
you can get a certificate in this mechanical fitter trade. So parallelly, they also do an NSQF exam. So
Mm-hmm.
they also get a certificate from them. So they get these two certificates. So if they wish, they could move out and work somewhere. And if they feel after 1 year they want to come back, they can come back and get into the second year.
Okay.
So then second year they can become a super fine CNC technician.
Mm-hmm.
So that can be the certificate. And if they finish and then they want to come back, if they come back, do the third year, they can become a full-fledged tooling engineer. So this is the model we are working on. So we feel that this is going to help the society and the younger generation, because of the current situation in pandemic, we know that many people lost their jobs, or many people earnings have reduced. So this is going to last for another 3 4 years, I suppose, right? So but education cannot stop. So this is something that we are thinking differently now. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very interesting to hear you say about how you connect with your alumni and take their feedback as well when you're restructuring your courses. And also the point you just made about the impact of pandemic and how the course structure and also the opportunities for upskilling and flexible learning that you're coming up with. I'm sure this is going to be beneficial to many.
Pandemic changes that we are looking at is we are we have to do everything online, right? Most of the things online, but then the practical we cannot do online.
Right.
So we are all the theory classes, yes, we are doing online, and we have redesigned our ERP system that we have to capture all the data, the way in which the online classes can be managed. And when it comes to the laboratory, we are also looking at certain laboratories which can be a virtual lab, which means if you're operating an oscilloscope, you can feel on your monitor that you're operating an oscilloscope, so you can simulate a situation, right? So that is another thing that we are working on, which is new. So virtual labs should be able to help students give a feel. So if there are 20 experience, maybe 15 you do virtual, 5 you come and do here, you know. So this is another thing that post-pandemic we are looking at. And then we feel that this can help not only our own students, but many of the engineers and diploma, because the list of future jobs that I was telling you,
Yeah.
it will really help them if they come and do these short-term courses, which is like 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year. If they do it in NTTF, it will definitely help them, because post-pandemic, those will be the requirements. So this is the strong belief that we have.
Okay.
I think there's one thing that NTTF is extremely good at, and is the reason why there is so much passion in this place. It has got great values.
Okay.
And it can be seen from the point that an NTTF student is recognized and to come as a director, and the management gives all the support, right? No matter who you are, they are supporting to do what is that best you can. And then this is something that you see day in and day out in NTTF.
Okay.
So that is the reason why there is so much passion, so much love, so much attachment to the organization. And because usually you will find that the engineers coming and teaching is very difficult, right?
Yeah.
Because teaching is the last job, but then you will find a whole bunch of 800 people are committed to these 10,000 students we always keep training. So that's a fantastic thing that NTTF has done, other than the just training of people. Creating that emotion, connect with people, that you have to commit to teaching, is something that NTTF has done in a brilliant manner. Is something I want to tell you.
That's right. Like you said, taking up training or teaching as the first option, that really requires a lot of conviction and commitment. And another point you just said about bringing the purpose and passion together, I think that matching is happening somewhere for all these people. That's the reason I'm sure they're very excited to be a part of your team. Yeah.
It's from my side.
Thank
And
you. Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Christopher, for joining us today and sharing your personal journey, your professional growth, and also the story of NTTF, how it inculcates values, discipline, dedication, and all, especially among today's youth, which is very much needed. So I look forward to be in touch with you. Thanks a lot. See you soon.
thank you, Madhuri, and all the best, and have a nice day. And thanks
Thank
to
you.
all the viewers, and hopefully it benefits them, right?
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye.